Chapter 11 is analyzing data with statistics. It will talking about counting, average, and find the rank, and calculate variance, standard deviation, and correlation. Let's go. For counting, in this data, at first we want to count how many numerical values in this range. We can see in this range there has numbers and characters and non-value. So at first we want to count how many numerical values in this range. Just use count function, and the range is from here to here. And we can see the numerical value in this range is 6. Next, we want to know how many no empty value in this range. Then we can use count a function, and the range is from here to here, and we can see no empty value is 9. And next, if we want to count how many empty value in the range, we can use count blank and enter the range, and then we can see only one blank value in this range. And we can also count the cells which match the criteria. Here we want to count if we want to count the number large than 800, then only 3. And we can also count the cells which match multiple criteria. Here we can use count ifs, and the first one is the criteria range in this range, and we want it's larger than 800, and the second criteria range is also this range, and the criteria is smaller than 1000. Then we can have the cells which match the criteria. The next one is calculate the average. Here we want to calculate the average for the defect. So it's just use average AV, and the range is from here to here. And then we have the average value, and we can also calculate the average value for the cells which match the criteria. In this case, we want to calculate the average gross margin for parts under $10. So we use average if the first one is the criteria range. The criteria range is the cost which smaller than 10, and the average range is the gross margin. Then we have the average gross margin, and we can also calculate the average of the cells which match multiple criteria. So here we want to calculate the average gross margin for part over $15 and less than 100 units. So we use average ifs. So the first is the average range. So the average range is the margin, and then the criteria range. Criteria range is the quantity which need to smaller than 100, and the second criteria range is the cost, and the criteria is larger than $15. Then we can calculate the average. The next one is if we want to know the median value, we can use median function. It is median, and enter range. Enter range is we want to know the median for defect, this range. And if you want to know which value is the common value in a range, we can use mod function equal mod, and the range is here. And we can see that the common value is 11. Next is the rank function. Rank function can be used to determine the item rank in relative to other items in a list. Here we want to rank the grade. We can use rank function equal rank and EQ, and the number is B3. Relative range is from B3 to the end. And here, this reference should be absolute reference, so we need to press F4 and enter. And we can double click. Then we rank the grade for each student. Next, let's see the nth largest and smallest value. If we want to know the 10th largest value in the grade, we can use the 8 larger, and the area is from here to the last and 1 to the 10th. And if you want to know the smallest value in the list, we can use the small function, and the area is from here to the last and the smallest value. Then we have the lowest grade. Next, let's see the frequency function. Frequency function will return the number of occurrences in each group. This is a grade. We want to group the grade into 6 groups, and the interval of the group is 10. So we can use frequency function. Here we need to be careful that frequency function is an error calculation. So at first we choose this area and enter the formula frequency. And the first is the data area from here to the last, and the second is the bin area is from here to here. And we need to press Ctrl Shift Enter, and then we can see this grid are grouped into this 6 group. Next, let's see how to calculate variance and standard deviation. Here we want to calculate the variance for this column, so it's equal variance, and here variance P, which means that the data is represents the entire population, and enter the range. Then we can have the variance. Next, let's see the standard deviation of this column. Standard deviation P and the range. Enter. We have the standard deviation. The last function is correlation function. We want to know the correlation of this column, advising, and sales. So just enter. The first area is from here to here, and the second area, and enter. Then we have the correlation of these 2 columns. The correlation coefficient is a number between -1 and 1. Thank you very much.